I click the go live already. It says preparing to go live. Okay, it's being live stream. Okay, let's start. Lili, good to see you again.
Hi, Lynn. I hope you're feeling much better.
Yes, better by the day. So
Yeah,
now it's good for us to get back on this Facebook series so that we can share more value added things for our audience who wants to know how to retire happy, healthy, and wise.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
So the vertical that we are going to focus on today is actually how to retire happy.
Yeah.
Okay. So for that, let me just share screen.
Sure.
Okay. So Lili, can you see the screen?
Yes, very good. I can see it very clearly. Yeah.
Clearly, huh? Oh, okay. So for our audience who just joined us for the second part of our series 2, please like and join our Facebook group, which is called Retire Happy, Healthy, and Wise. There you will get more tips on how to retire happy, healthy, and wise.
Yes. If I may add, actually, we actually started this group for the purpose of actually people who plans to retire or are planning to retire and even retirees, because especially in this COVID-19 situation, right, a lot of retirees sometimes they kind of stuck at home. So this is like a social community for you to share what you like to do and all this and that with people online, so that you can find time to be engaged and be active mentally as well, and you stay healthy as well, happy, healthy, and wise. Yes, so
That's
join
right.
us.
Yes, and we will be happy to know your experiences as well. So feel free to share with me. I'm Lynn, the financial pharmacist who dispenses financial solutions in appropriate dosages for busy professionals. And Lili, maybe you want to give a quick introduction of yourself?
Sure. Yeah, hi. I'm a Kashikoi trader, or in the Japanese language, right? Kashikoi means wise. Yes, I want to hope, or rather, I want to be a wise trader, and I'm more into options trading. So a lot of people may think that options is risky. So actually, it's not really. It is actually low risk and high return. So let's say if anybody wants to find out at the end of it, I'll be sharing a link for you all to actually find out by enrollment lah. It's a free webinar. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Stay with us, watch until the end of this short segment, and we will share with you some free gifts that will help you to retire happy, healthy, wise. Yeah. So now, Lili, for the retire happy vertical that we're going to discuss today, okay, so I think this is what we can do to start off. I've always been wondering, in terms of retire happy, first we must know, what do we define as happy, right?
I mean, to me, right, happy is when you can do whatever you want, when or or I mean, sometimes there's things that you want to do, but you cannot do it because of certain constraint. So being happy is able to do something that you really want. It doesn't need to be very expensive or very time consuming. It could be like just reading a book, this and that, right? So as long as you are happy doing that something, it's something like your passion. To me, that would be happy. Yeah. I'm
I
not
think
sure how you
you're
feel.
absolutely right. In fact, before coming on this Facebook Live, I was just reading an article in the news, and there's this reporter who wrote the article that says about people's retirement plans. A lot are being changed, all because of COVID.
Yes.
So COVID actually has the power to either bring forward people's retirement, be it voluntary or involuntary, or COVID actually also has the power to delay people's retirement, because there is this amount of people who suddenly realize that, hey, it's not too bad to work from home and still get the income. So they rather keep themselves, still engaged. And I guess that's where, retirement has also taken on a different meaning. In the past, right, for all the many people that I spoke with, including my clients, people always thought that retirement is a time of, stopping meaningful work and then engaging in their own personal pursuits. But it appeared to me that, in this pandemic era, people have a different definition, whereby, they think that they can continue to work, be engaged meaningfully. And that I think probably is that happiness factor lah, that they
Correct.
find in retirement.
Correct. Actually, you mentioned it correctly, yeah. Because I do know of people who they can actually retire, but they do not want. It's not that they need to work, but they want to work because they are happy working. And the objective is they want to keep their mind active. Because sometimes if especially for people who work for a long time, right? When they decided to stop working, they really do not know what to do, even though they have so much time. Sometimes they are totally lost. And once they do not know what to do, then they start to deteriorate very quickly, especially the mental capacity. So
Right.
that's why sometimes we should, while we are working, right, we should actually plan towards a situation where when we want to retire, we can choose to retire, or when we want to work, we can choose to work without being being tied to a work, meaning to say that you must work kind of thing, Yeah, you can, choose to work happily or not choose to work. Not so that you are in control of your life, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. I guess what we're trying to explain to our audience here and to share is retirement is basically just another phase of life that is very normal. It will come to everybody. But what every one of us can do is to plan early for it, so that we can do things that makes us still be happy, and that comes with social engagement, being
Yes.
active.
Yes.
Yeah. So and in fact, in Japanese, for people who study the Japanese culture, there's actually no Japanese word for retirement. Retirement is an English word. Yeah,
Oh,
there's no Japanese word. But the
okay.
Japanese actually believe very strongly in this word called ikigai.
Oh, ikigai.
Yeah, which is translated to English, it means the purpose in life. So I guess those Japanese who are happy living a long retired life, so to speak, right? They really live based on their ikigai. Yeah. So
Purposeful living.
correct. In fact, I have a ebook on ikigai. So any one of you who wants, you can just PM me in the Facebook, and I can just send the book for you for your personal reading lah. Okay, so that's ikigai. So as we mentioned, right, retirement, I guess, the second question here, does retirement mean not doing anything at all? So what we have discussed earlier, it really means that it's not that we don't do anything, it's more of like you are engaged in things that still keep you, mentally and meaningfully occupied.
Yes.
And makes you happy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So actually, I have a very interesting article to share, here. I don't know whether can you see. Okay, let's see. I was trying to go to a website. So maybe we'll stop share this picture, right? So this picture actually is a snapshot of the last kampong in Singapore.
Lynn, I'm not looking at the picture.
Yeah, have you heard of it, Lili? The last kampong in Singapore.
Yes, but not quite sure. But I'm not looking at a picture of the last kampong. There's no picture here.
Oh, you're not looking at the last kampong picture.
Just now there was a short, a small little picture that you showed. Yeah, but I think you're trying to show a big picture now, right?
I'm trying to show, let's see. I'm trying to show a website. So I've actually called out that website. Okay, never mind. I will just put this as a chat link so that we don't waste time unnecessarily.
Yeah.
It appears that I have an issue. Let me see.
Maybe you put in a link and then you see whether you can share with me, and I'll try to share at my end.
Okay. That sounds good. Give me a minute. Okay, I pasted the link.
Okay,
See whether you can.
this maybe you see whether you can hand the host to me. Let me try.
Yes.
Let me try.
Let's do that. Give you the host, right? What to
You under the participant, right? You click the up arrow, the participant up arrow. Then you see my name. 可以吗? I can't hear you. I can't hear you too.
Oh, I make you host, then you auto mute me.
Am I the host ready?
Yes, you're the host. See whether you can share.
Okay, hold on now. Let me click here. Let me share the whole screen.
Yeah. So while you're trying to pull out that article, right? The last kampong in Singapore.
Can you all see this one?
Can. Very good.
Okay.
Okay, let's you scroll down a little bit more. If you scroll down a little bit more, yeah, these are a bit more further down. We want to see the kampong images. Cannot? Hey, how come it's all US trip?
I think this is the one. Sorry, my apologies. Hold on.
You Google the last kampong.
这个。Oh, this is very nice.
Yeah, right. Okay. So what happened here is this is at the northeastern side of Singapore. It is actually the last remaining kampong. Okay, by kampong we means all these close knitted houses which was from the early days of Singapore. And this piece of land, that means this whole stretch, right, of the houses actually is privately owned, okay, by a lady who inherited from her parents. But this lady, right, now that she's retired, what she does, right, is I think every month or so, she just cycles around the kampong to collect very, very low token rental. Rental, do you want to make a guess? Per month rental, right? Roughly on the average is how much?
It's very low.
It's very low. It's basically just like, I give you a very good
$100?
Staying for free. It's like virtually staying for free.
Wow, $10?
Yeah, close to it, Lily. Okay.
Wow.
For some very long time people who stayed here, apparently there are people who stay here for second or third generation. So those people, right, paid less than $10 per month.
Wow.
Rental. Yeah, and the average, right, is I think less than $50 if I'm not wrong. But anyway, I think this lady, right, is really very kind-hearted. So so probably that is what she found her happiness, yes, in her retirement, and she just wanted to leave this legacy that her parents left behind. And this is if you Google, you will find that as a last kampong in Singapore. It's free. It's open for you to just walk through. But of course, you cannot go into the house. But they have a house on display. But you probably need to get some prior permission. But if you just visit that place, which is called Lorong Buangkok, right? And then you just walk around.
Okay.
Yeah. Then you will really get the kampong feel.
Oh.
Yeah. So when I first visited this place and I heard about the story, right, behind how this kampong came to be still the last kampong in Singapore. Wow, I'm so impressed with what the lady is trying to do. And I think when I that's why I take a leaf out from her book when I'm in full retirement. This is probably one of the meaningful things that I hope to be able to do.
Okay.
By doing more charity lah. I think she's doing charity, something like that.
I return the sharing to you. Hold on.
Okay, Ken. Thank you very much.
You see how it goes. So give me a minute. Okay, stop share.
Wait, I also turn on my electricity first. Did you give me already the share?
Yes, done. Okay,
Thank you very much.
no
Okay,
problem.
so let's go back to the the slide. But before that, so Lily, if you have not visited this Lorong Bangkok, right? You think you want to make it one of your
Yeah, I probably will. I probably will. Yeah, because it looks really nice. Actually, when I was younger, right, I was staying in one of those big I don't know whether you know Surin Avenue, right, Charlton Park area.
I think
I
I
was
heard.
staying around that area, and then the place that we stayed in with actually is big and it's actually shared with our late some of our relatives lah. Yeah,
Okay.
so we have a very big compound. So I still can actually draw it out if I need to. Yeah,
Wow.
I can still visualize how it looks like, how it feel. Yeah, we could right inside there. We could play badminton inside the compound. It's very nice. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I
Those were the
totally
days.
agree. So in
Mm,
fact, places such as these, right, which are very rustic, are
mm,
also a very popular tourist spot as well
yeah,
for those tourists who knows.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
so that's for our audience to go and explore the last kampong in Singapore. Okay, Lorong Buangkok. And then so the next bit that we want to share perhaps is also some learnings that both Lily and I have learned from different happy retirees, so that we share here, the audience can also learn from the other happy retirees so that they can retire happy for their own selves as well.
Mm,
Yeah.
correct, correct,
So
correct.
maybe I start off.
Yeah, correct.
So what happened here is I have the chance recently to actually contribute to a book. The title is A Letter to My Child. Okay, so actually I wrote some heartfelt words lah, basically because I want my young children to read, okay, what I want to write for them. Yeah, and in there, in the book actually, I also shared quotes that I gather from happy retirees all over the world, okay, which I think are worth learning because they sort of like, give me the model that they have lived, and experienced a long and happy retired life. So it's whatever that they say lah, should be able to bear some weight, right? Yeah, so that's why I also pen down for my children to know, because I think my children's generation, the chances of them living a long retirement is even higher than me living a long and good retirement. So it's more important for them to learn, even
Yeah,
more important for them to learn, how to live a good retirement life.
yeah, correct,
And
correct.
so this book, right, I have my section that I can share with the audience here. If they want, they can just you can just PM me in the Facebook post later, and then I can send to you my contributing section of the book. One of the quotes, right, that I can read off at the top of my mind, right, is it comes from this English gentleman.
Mm,
Okay, so the
mm,
quotes are all from centenarians. That means
wow, okay.
at least 100 years old people. He lived in England, and then
Mm,
I remembered vividly what he said. He says that there's no filled bread in his kitchen. Okay, there's no filled bread in his kitchen.
mhm,
Whatever it is, right, at the end of the day, minimally there will be just a pudding that he will still enjoy.
mm.
Yeah. So personally, I also like to do baking, and but very many times I don't follow the recipe to the T. So that's why I resonated very strongly with this quote, because then those filled breads that I try to do, in the
Yeah,
end I can actually turn it into a
it's
pudding.
something else.
Yes, that I could enjoy.
Yeah, for
So
me, I don't really bake. I'm not really a so-called house person where I like to do cooking, baking, or things like that. I don't know why. I think I always enjoy investment, enjoy working, I guess. Yeah.
okay, that's also good
Yeah.
lah.
So for me, happy retirees that I know of, um, not really truly retired. But those who retired, they are really also like doing things like investment on the side kind of thing. Yeah, or else they are also working, but not like if need to work, not
Not
like
the high
full
stress
time.
job
Could be
kind.
like consulting type or
Yeah.
consultancy type, or maybe part-time or freelance, that kind
Yeah.
of happy retirees. And you know why? Because then they are able to find time and balance between home life and so-called work life, yeah, because they would be able to spend time with their grandchildren, this and that. So yeah, so
No, so you're absolutely right. Lily, you seem to bear some validation to what we spoke, much earlier in our question
yes.
1 and 2, right? Whereby
Mhm.
the picture of retirement has really changed
Correct.
with COVID. Yeah. So there are increasing proportion of people who actually don't want to just stop being engaged socially, and they don't
Yeah.
want to stop working. To
Mhm.
them, retirement is continuing to enjoy what they like, right? Like what you say,
Correct.
a
Correct.
lot of your friends ended up doing
Mm.
consulting work.
Yeah, correct. I guess because our generation is pretty different from the generation like my mom's generation, right? My parents'
Mm,
generation, because I think most of us, at least around my age, I think most of us are educated, and a lot of us would have worked a good number of years in our life, right, before we reach this stage. So to us is that um we are so used to working or being gainfully employed or contributing to society that I think we can't really envisage ourselves to really like full-time retirement, no matter what we say, we
yeah.
are very itchy, we need to do something.
No,
So
you have a
I
point. You have a point. Yeah, because
yeah,
it's like in the past, our parents' generation, maybe the mothers, majority of them are housewife, but now
correct.
majority of mothers are also working class. So
Yes,
to suddenly start also very difficult lah. So every generation they will have their own different
correct.
kind of uh directions. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
very interesting to speak to
yeah, correct,
different
correct.
people from different generation and learn. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. I think we can wrap it up here for today. Yeah, on the retire happy. I think we have shared enough lah with our
Mhm.
audience on how to retire happy. And then the next bit that we want to make them happy is to give them resources, right? So that they can
Yes, yes.
actually really start to implement for themselves and plan early so that they can have a good and happy retirement. So the first resource that we want to give is actually the 8 costly surprises in retirement. This is a free ebook authored by myself. So please have a look, and so that you won't be surprised by the costly scenarios that I listed down in the ebook, and you'll be
Mhm.
better prepared. Then the
Yeah,
second free resource is actually top 10 stock screening strategies that make money leh. Who
yeah.
wants to make money? Actually, I want to make money.
Actually, if you're just to add, yeah, if you see
Ah,
my background, right, you can see properly it's a create, yeah. Recently, I was a speaker. In fact, yesterday actually, yeah, I was in the co-create conference held yesterday, and I actually shared on how you can create the life that you want, using my GPU strategy. So inside this link, right, the top 10 stock screening strategy that make money. Inside the link, I also have this so-called 1 hour free webinar for you to register if you're if you're keen to register, yeah, to find out how you can actually create the life that you want. I know it's just like for retirees, you can create the life that you want as well. So how do you do it? So yeah, so if you are available, join me by registering through this link as well. Inside the gifts, right? There are 2 gifts, the free ebook and the free webinar. So the free webinar is coming up this Friday, 17th of December at 9 p.m. So I hope you
ah.
see that. Yes.
So that means once they click on that bit.ly 32H link,
Mm,
they'll be able
yes.
to register for the 17th of December, 9
Yes.
p.m. Free
Yes.
webinar on how to make money, right?
Yeah, there are
For
2 links
retirement.
like there. 2 links. One link is the book, one link is this one. Yes.
Yeah, so that sounds good. Okay, so I
Yeah.
guess that's all that we have for our audience here today. And if you have not liked or joined our Facebook group yet, please go and click like and
Yeah,
join.
right,
Yeah.
correct.
So later on, I'll also put the link in the post so that you can just click and join. Okay.
So next week we're going to share on healthy, right?
That's right, Lily. So next week, same time, 9 p.m., we are going to share the second vertical on how to retire healthy.
Yeah.
That is also something very important. And I do have a personal story to share on
Yes, yes,
health is
yes. Yeah.
important. Yeah.
And maybe I could add, right? If you look at the acronym R.E.T.I.R.E, right? If you look at below, we have what we call relax, right? Enjoy, travel, interest, rejuvenate, and explore. So as a retiree, you can actually do all these things. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
totally agree. Yeah.
Correct.
So
Correct.
if you have not joined yet, please join us in the Facebook group, which I'll put the link later, and also like us so that when we go live the next round, you'll be prompted and join us. We would love to have you live and share with us your experiences and your views as well, so that collectively we can also share with our audience.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Hope to see you next week. Bye.
Yes. Bye bye. So I think with that I
You
need
end already?
wait, I need to stop